What if I told you that the healthiest cheddar in your supermarket is actually the most dangerous? Asda's 30% less fat mature cheese, the one you grab thinking you're making a smart choice, contains more salt than any other cheddar tested in the UK. The healthy option is literally worse than regular cheese. But that's not even the scandal that made me lose sleep. Cathedral City, Britain's favourite cheddar, was caught on camera doing something that should terrify you. An employee at their factory removed a pollution monitor from the waste tank and placed it in a bucket of clean water to hide toxic breaches. They were fined £1.52 million for poisoning a Cornish river with sludge that killed thousands of fish. And while paying that fine, they made £21 million in profit. The cheese sitting in your fridge right now could be funding environmental crime, slowly raising your blood pressure, or hiding behind British flags while being owned by corporations on the other side of the world. I'm about to expose 6 cheddar brands you need to avoid, reveal which alternatives are actually worth your money, and teach you exactly how to spot quality cheese so the industry can never fool you again. Number 1. Cathedral City. If you have Cathedral City in your fridge right now, you're not alone. Over 13 million people in the UK buy it regularly. It generates over £286 million in sales every year. It carries a royal warrant, and it comes from a factory with the worst environmental prosecution record in southwest England. The David's Toe Creamery in Cornwall, where Cathedral City is made, pleaded guilty to 21 environmental offences spanning 5 years. In one incident, they released a biocide that killed thousands of fish across 2 kilometres of the River Inny. Local residents reported headaches. They described their lives as blighted by foul odours coming from the plant. But here's what disturbed me most. During the investigation, an employee was filmed removing the wastewater monitor from the effluent tank and placing it in a bucket of clean water. That's not negligence, that's a deliberate cover-up. The judge found evidence of poor middle management culture, with staff feeling intimidated and bullied. The company was fined £1.52 million. Their annual profit, £21 million. That fine was a rounding error. And the Union Jack on your Cathedral City packet, the Cornish Heritage Marketing? Cathedral City is owned by Saputo Inc., a Canadian multinational headquartered in Montreal. They bought Dairy Crest for £975 million and now control Cathedral City, David's Toe, Clover Spread, and Country Life Butter. You're paying premium prices for cheese made at a facility that poisoned a river, covered it up, got caught, and is now seeking permission to expand production. The local community is fighting it. You should too. Number 2. Asda, 30% less fat, mature cheese. This one genuinely shocked me. A recent comprehensive survey tested 607 cheese products across UK supermarkets. They measured salt content against Food Standards Agency targets. And Asda's reduced fat mature cheese came in with 2.0 grams of salt per 100 grams, the highest of any cheddar tested, and 11% above the FSA maximum target. Let me put that in perspective. A 30-gram portion of average cheddar, roughly the size of a matchbox, contains more salt than an entire packet of Walker's Ready Salted Crisps. 2 slices in a sandwich pushes you to over 1 gram of salt from cheese alone. That's 17% of your entire daily allowance from one food. And Asda's healthy option is worse than all of them. This matters because 30% of UK adults have high blood pressure. That rises to 60% for those aged 65 and over. High blood pressure costs the NHS over £2.1 billion annually. Every reduction in salt intake lowers your arterial pressure. The cheese industry was supposed to reduce salt levels. The FSA set targets over a decade ago. Average cheddar salt content has actually increased since then, from 1.68 grams to 1.70 grams per 100 grams. Professor Graham McGregor, chair of Action on Salt, said putting the food industry in charge of salt reduction was equivalent to putting Dracula in charge of the blood bank. An estimated 6,000 additional deaths have been attributed to stalled salt reduction progress, 4,000 of them premature and preventable. And Asda is selling the saltiest cheddar of all under a healthy label. Number 3. Seriously strong. You see the branding. You see the strength claims. What you don't see is who's really behind it. Seriously Strong is owned by Groupe Lactalis, a French multinational and the largest dairy company in the world. They acquired the brand through their purchase of McClelland Group for over £150 million. Now, I want to be clear about something. The cheese itself isn't contaminated. But when you're deciding which corporations deserve your money, you should know who you're funding. Lactalis operates with a level of secrecy unusual even for private companies. They've faced repeated criticism over transparency. Their corporate culture has been questioned by regulators across multiple countries. And their response to crises has consistently prioritized protecting the brand over protecting consumers. When you buy Seriously Strong, your money flows to Laval, France, not to British dairy farmers, not to British jobs, not to British communities. The strong flavour you're paying extra for, often achieved through flavour enhancers and accelerated aging processes, rather than the traditional methods that create genuine depth. Industrial cheddar uses enzymes and additives to simulate what time and craftsmanship should create naturally. Your money, their shareholders. Number 4. Pilgrim's Choice. Look at the packaging. Union Jack imagery. Great British cheese positioning. A UK identification. But Pilgrim's Choice is owned by Ornua, an Irish dairy cooperative headquartered in Dublin, and according to industry sources, the cheese is substantially sourced from Irish-produced cheese. The label says, produced in the UK and Ireland, using milk from the UK and Ireland, packed in the UK. Technically accurate, deliberately vague, designed to let you assume you're buying British when you're not. This matters because British dairy farmers are in crisis. Farmgate milk prices crashed below 40 pence per litre recently, which farmers call unsustainable. Parliament noted the average dairy farmer earns just £2.90 per hour for a 70-hour week. When you choose cheese thinking you're supporting British farming and that money actually flows to Ireland, British farmers lose. Pilgrim's Choice isn't breaking any laws, but they're certainly not being honest with you about where your cheese actually comes from. Number 5. Lidl Deluxe Cheddar Range. Lidl's premium deluxe line positions itself as affordable luxury. But in early 2025, the Food Standards Agency issued recalls for multiple deluxe cheddar cheese wedge products, the Sriracha, walnut, and oak smoked varieties, due to confirmed Listeria monocytogenes contamination. Listeria is not a minor food safety issue. UK Health Security Agency data shows a case fatality rate of 20 to 30% for invasive listeriosis. The highest incidence occurs in people aged 80 and over. Hospitalization rates exceed 90%. This is particularly concerning for anyone with a weakened immune system, anyone over 65, and anyone pregnant. In pregnancy-associated cases, 43.7% result in stillbirth or miscarriage. And listeria can grow at refrigeration temperatures. Your fridge doesn't protect you. The recalls happened, the products were pulled, but it raises questions about quality control in budget premium ranges across all supermarkets. When a product costs less but claims to be premium, something has to give. Sometimes it's the safety testing. Check your fridge. If you bought Lidl Deluxe Cheddar recently, verify it wasn't part of the recall. Number 6. Dairylea. I know Dairylea isn't technically cheddar, but millions of British families treat it like cheese, feed it to their children, and assume it's a decent source of calcium and protein. Let me tell you what's actually in those triangles. Dairylea typically contains only 50 to 60% actual cheese. The rest is skimmed milk powder, milk proteins, modified starch, and something called emulsifying salts, sodium phosphates, triphosphates, polyphosphates. Here's why that matters. Unlike naturally occurring phosphate, additive phosphate is almost completely absorbed in your digestive system. Just 25 grams of processed cheese can contain up to 600 milligrams of phosphate, approximately half your recommended daily intake. Elevated phosphate levels correlate with cardiovascular problems, vascular calcification, and accelerated aging processes. An 11-day human trial showed increased abdominal discomfort from emulsifier consumption. And here's the kicker. In 2007, the Advertising Standards Authority banned Dairylea's full of good stuff advertising claim due to high salt and saturated fat content. The claim was false. Yet Dairylea continues marketing to children with fun dipping formats and playful branding. It's not cheese. It's a processed product engineered to be cheap, shelf-stable, and addictive. Your kids deserve better. The alternatives that are actually worth your money. West Country Farmhouse Cheddar PDO is the gold standard. PDO means Protected Designation of Origin, the same protection that covers champagne and Parma ham. It requires production in Somerset, Devon, Dorset or Cornwall using local milk, traditional hand cheddaring methods, minimum 9-month aging, and no additives or colourings. Brands with PDO certification include Montgomery's, Keen's, Westcombe, Quicker's, Barber's, and Wookey Hole Cave Aged. But you don't need to visit a specialist shop. Tesco Finest Vintage Farmhouse Cheddar holds PDO status, made by Baker's Cheddar in Somerset. Sainsbury's Taste the Difference Greens of Glastonbury is PDO certified and matured for 12 months. Sainsbury's also stocks Keen's Mature Cheddar in their premium range. If budget matters most, Morrison's own brand cheddar achieves the lowest average salt content of any UK supermarket at 1.61 grams per 100 grams. Morrison's Savers cheddar costs just 70p per 100 grams and has better nutritional values than Cathedral City at 97p. For organic, Yo Valley is Soil Association certified, with cows grazing outdoors an average of 235 days per year on GM-free pastures. How to spot quality cheddar in-store and at home. First, look for the yellow and blue PDO logo. If it's there, the cheese meets genuine protected standards. No logo means no guarantee. Second, check the colour. Traditional cheddar is naturally pale yellow, almost ivory. Bright orange cheddar has been coloured with annatto. It's not harmful, but it tells you the manufacturer is prioritising appearance over authenticity. Third, read the origin. Somerset, Devon, Dorset and Cornwall are the traditional cheddar counties. If the label says produced in the UK without specifying where, be suspicious. Fourth, look for cloth-bound versus block. Artisan cheddar is wrapped in cloth and develops a natural rind. Industrial cheddar is produced in plastic-wrapped blocks. Cloth-bound costs more, but delivers genuine flavour. Fifth, check the salt. Anything over 1.8 grams per 100 grams exceeds FSA targets. The best cheddars manage 1.5 grams or less. At home, real aged cheddar develops small white crystals, calcium lactate. And finally, taste it. Proper cheddar has complexity. Nutty, sharp, sometimes slightly sweet. Industrial cheddar tastes flat, one-dimensional, almost plasticky. Once you know the difference, you'll never be fooled again. Which one surprised you the most? Drop your experience in the comments, and if you want to watch a video like this one, click the video on the screen. Thanks for watching.